Hello folks, my name is Josh Taylor and I'd like to welcome you to the 12th Annual Telling Tales Festival and our first ever virtual gathering. Whether you are a veteran fan who has been to the festival or whether this is your very first time joining us, we are so happy to see how stories connect us, no matter how far apart we live. Speaking of where we live, the Telling Tales Festival happens in a place where people have lived and told stories for thousands of years. It is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, the Huron-Wendat, and the neutral peoples. Today, it is home to the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the Six Nations of the Grand River, and to many other Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. We recognize our responsibility to learn about their rich history so that we can better understand our roles as caretakers, neighbors, and friends. With a good heart and mind, we honor the sacred Indigenous tradition of storytelling by presenting our program today. Miigwech, Nyawe, and thank you. Hi everyone, this episode is called Land and Water. Today we are going to take a dip into the water and learn about what happens on the land around it. We are going to hear stories about real life people who remind us of how important it is to take care of it. Watch this whole episode for a chance to win a book from one of today's authors. I will be giving you clues about what to do to win, but you have to listen closely. Jess Keating is here to introduce us to a very special person who discovered something amazing at the bottom of the ocean. Jess believes that you can do anything. She swims with sharks, loves watching action movies, hosts her very own YouTube channel, and writes books for kids who ask a lot of questions. In Ocean Speaks, curiosity leads to important discoveries that help us understand oceans better.
Hey everybody, I'm Jess Keating and I'm an author, cartoonist, and zoologist, and I wrote this book, Ocean Speaks, and today I wanted to talk to you about being an explorer, just like the lady in this book, Ms. Marie Tharp. So, Marie was the first person in the world to map the ocean floor, and she actually discovered that deep underneath the ocean there's a huge mountain range. People didn't believe her at the time, and like you will learn in this book, she was absolutely right. But I wanted to talk to you today about 3 things that you can do to be an explorer, just like Marie, in your own backyard or in your own home, okay? So, number 1, if you want to be an explorer, you have to read as many books as you can, because reading is one of the very best ways to explore the whole world. So what I want you guys to do is take 3 things. Take a person you want to learn about, a place you want to learn about, and an animal you want to learn about, and see if you can find a book, whether it's through your library or your school or your bookshelves at home, that will teach you a little bit about that stuff, okay? So that's the first thing. You can be an explorer through books. Now the second thing you can do is be an explorer in your own home. Now, sometimes we think of explorers as people that are out there exploring the world and they're on mountaintops or deep under the ocean. But the truth is, your own home is worthy of exploring too. It is full of amazing things. So what you can do is you can pick your very favorite room in your home, or you can pick a little corner of your outdoor space, whether it's your backyard or maybe a pretty part of a sidewalk that you live by, anything like that, and I want you to get your notebook with you. Every good explorer needs a notebook, and if you don't have a notebook, you can just tape some pages together or staple them together. Now, when you're in this amazing place that you love, I want you to start drawing the different things that you see and putting little labels beside them. That is one of the best ways to be an explorer because it will help you remember all of these cool things. And over time, if you do this once a day or once a week or for the rest of your life, like many explorers do, you will have all these incredible encyclopedias and notes about these amazing things that you love, and they will give you even more research and fun things to explore as you get older. Okay, so that's number 2. And the third thing you can do to explore is find some water, right? Like Marie Tharp, she explored the ocean, but you don't need to live near an ocean. If you do, you're very lucky. But you don't need to live near an ocean to do some water exploration. So you can find a lake, maybe you live by a lake like I do, maybe you live by a stream or a pond. You can even explore a puddle. So all you have to do is get right up close to the water, be very careful, of course, if it's a big body of water, you want to be careful. but you want to get right up close and use that special notebook again and start marking what you're seeing. Do you see any animals? Do you see any people nearby? Are there any unique colors? That's another great thing about being an explorer, is you can use all the amazing things you see, and maybe you don't like writing so much. That's okay. You can turn all of that cool stuff into artwork. I know there's some of you out there that love comics and drawing and painting. Exploration is a wonderful thing to mix with all of that fun stuff you're learning, okay? So that is my 3 tips for being an explorer. I hope you have a lot of fun with them. I hope you enjoyed this book, Ocean Speaks. I wrote it just for you, and I hope you have an amazing, amazing time with the rest of Telling Tales. Have a wonderful day, stay curious, and happy reading.
I'm so happy Marie didn't give up. Maybe you will become an explorer, discovering new things at the bottom of the sea, or maybe in your own backyard. Our friend Mr. Ben is here with a song about what we need for the plants to grow tall.
Hi, I'm Mr. Ben, and I'm going to sing you a Nito Rapido song about rain. So I'm going to sing to you. If you want, you can sing back to me. Here's how it goes. Me first. Let the rain fall down, let the rain fall down, let it soak the ground, let it soak the ground, let the rain fall down, let the rain fall down, let it soak the ground, let the raindrops fall over one and all, giving fresh strength to the land, giving the plants a helping hand, and turning the grass to green and brown, making that gentle rainy sound. So that's how it goes. Now you can do the Nito Rapido again. Ready? Let the rain fall down, let it soak the ground, let the rain fall down, let it soak the ground, let the raindrops fall over one and all, giving a fresh drink to the land, giving the plants a helping hand, and turning the grass to green and brown, making that gentle rainy sound. Ready? Last time. Let the rain fall down, let it soak the ground, let the rain fall down, let it soak the ground, let the raindrops fall over one and all, let the raindrops fall over one and all, let the rain fall down, let it soak the ground. Thanks for singing.
Thanks, Mr. Ben. I love a rainy day too. I love dancing in the rain and moonwalking in the rain. Pow! Ah, okay, that's all right. I'll stop. Now we're going to hear about another real person who did something amazing to protect our water. Joanne is an Anishinaabe Kwe and a member of Atikameksheng Anishinaabeg First Nation, located 19 kilometers west of Sudbury, Ontario. She cares about keeping water clean and safe. She makes movies, writes books, and leads water walks to share her knowledge with people everywhere so that they can help too. Etienna Moostoos-Lafferty is a member of the Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation in Treaty 8 territory of the province of Alberta. She teaches the teachers about Indigenous culture and is the narrator of this presentation based on Joanne's book.
Etienna Moostoos-Lafferty. I'm really happy to see you today, Mio Gisagal. I'm sitting next to Slave Lake. Actually, this is in Treaty 8 territory where my family's from. So I feel very humble today to know that my ancestors have walked these lands before me. But the reason why I'm sitting here today is because I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about water and the importance of water and why water is so sacred to me, but to First Nations people. And I want you to think more about how you use water, how plants use water, and how animals use water. So today I'm going to do a little bit of a reading about water and maybe put some questions up after for you to reflect on. Thank you. Ninaskamon.
Nokomis love Nipi, and Nipi love Nokomis. Rain or shine, hot or cold, calm or wild. Every morning, like the women in her family before her, Nokomis hopped out of bed, and before doing anything else, she said, "Ninaskamon Nipi, for the life you give to every living thing on earth. Kisagi Heaton, I respect you." But one day, a wise Okimau told her, "In my lifetime, the day will come when an ounce of water costs more than an ounce of gold. What are you going to do about it?" Like an arrow, his words pierced Nokomis's heart. She looked around. She saw how people were disrespecting the water, wasting it, making it unfit for life. Day turned to night, night turned to weeks, and Nokomis remembered the Okimau's words. A few moons went by, and then one night, Nokomis had a dream. Early next morning, Nokomis called her sister and Esqueo Nitotamak over for tea to talk about their responsibility to protect Nipi. 4 days later, Nokomis and the Mother Earth Water Walkers, as they came to be known, found themselves standing on the side of the road, wearing sneakers. Nokomis carried a copper pail full of Nipi in one hand and a mixu staff in the other. If no one noticed Nipi, maybe they would notice the water walkers. Maybe someone would ask why they carried Nipi in the water pail. Maybe someone would be moved to protect Nipi too. Nokomis and the Mother Earth Water Walkers walked all around the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence River. They walked every spring for 7 years. They prayed and sang to Nipi. They left tobacco in every lake, river, stream, and puddle they met. They got up before the birds and went to bed when Nokomis rose. Nokomis was interviewed on television, in newspapers, and on radio. She was even in movies. But big companies, politicians, and even her next-door neighbors still did not feel the urgency to protect Nipi. What more can I do? Wondered Nokomis. 1 year later, over by the Atlantic Ocean, a friend of Nokomis had a dream, and she shared it with Nokomis as soon as she woke up. Nokomis shared the dream with all the people she had met during her walks. Word spread fast across Turtle Island, and everyone began to prepare. Next thing you know, there were a squawk standing at each salt Nipi around Turtle Island, with a copper pail in one hand and a mixu staff in the other, wearing sneakers. In the west, Nokomis and the Mother Earth Water Walkers set off from the Pacific Ocean, saying they will do it for the water. 1 year after a devastating oil spill, Nokomis and the Water Walkers set off from the Gulf of Mexico singing to Nipi and praying for the healing of Nipi. They said, "Water, we love you, we thank you, we respect you." Next, Nokomis and the Water Walkers set off from the Atlantic Ocean in the east. At the send-off, they walked barefoot on the rocks and the beautiful petroglyphs and sang to Nipi. Putting on their sneakers, they started out on the migration trail their ancestors traveled hundreds of years before. In the frigid north, the ice was 5 feet thick. Nokomis and the Mother Earth water walkers put tobacco on the frozen nipi, singing their thanks, respect, and love. Saltwater tears filled the Mother Earth water walkers' eyes as the 4 salt nipi met Lake Superior. One day, the 4 salt nipi will be reborn as clouds and be carried home on the wind, said Nokomis. Nokomis went through 3 knees and 11 pairs of sneakers walking for Nipi. She got her knees replaced and is at home resting up, taking the time to surf online for new sneakers. Every morning, she puts down her tobacco for Nipi and sings her gratitude. She prays people wake up and realize that without Nipi, there is no life. And she continues to wonder, what are you going to do about it?
Will you put your sneakers on to walk for the water? Let's think about why water is important for us, okay? Now we're going to visit our friend Gabe at Royal Botanical Gardens to hear about a guy named Salvadore who lives in the water and on the land. Located at the western tip of Lake Ontario, Royal Botanical Gardens has 1,100 hectares of nature reserve and several formal gardens, including Henry Garden, the home of the first ever Telling Tales Nature Tales Festival held in 2019.
Hi there everyone, my name is Gabe and I'm here at Royal Botanical Gardens located in Burlington, Ontario. RBG is Canada's largest botanical garden and it's also home to over 50 species at risk, including 4 species of turtles. This is a Midland painted turtle, and you may have seen turtles like my buddy Salvadore here sunning themselves on the logs in Cootes Paradise Marsh, and they depend almost entirely on wetland habitat to survive. It's really where they're happiest and healthiest. You can tell it's a Midland painted turtle because of a few things. The number one thing to look for is the yellow markings on the side of its head. Oh, sorry, buddy. And the yellow, sometimes orange markings on its head and neck, and then also the scutes. You see the edge of its scutes here, yellow, dark orange, and red markings on the sides of its shell. Turtles like Salvadore here can live 30 to 40 years in the wild, and that's pretty standard for a lot of different turtle species, including the ones that you find at the pet store. So it is mid-spring now here at the marsh, and you will start to see these guys emerge from what's called brumation. That's like hibernation that takes place at the bottom of the marsh. And you'll especially start seeing females. They are out looking for nesting sites. So they're going to leave the marsh, start digging in sandy soil, sandy rocky soil, and lay their eggs. And once those eggs hatch, those hatchlings are probably gonna make their way back to many of the similar wetlands that their parents came from. And that's because wetlands are the perfect place for these species. They are filled with all of the shelter that turtles need, all of the places to sun, but also all of the food sources. So algae, invertebrates, even fish are what these guys love, and the marsh is the perfect habitat for them. Cootes Paradise Nature Sanctuary is home to hundreds of species, not just the Midland painted turtle, and it's part of what makes Royal Botanical Gardens a biodiversity hotspot. RBG is committed to making sure that these species are protected.
Thanks, Gabe. I guess the water is pretty important to Salvadore too. Now, Kate Moss Gamblin is going to introduce us to a few of Salvadore's friends who also live in or near the water. Kate Moss Gamblin loves the water. She loves to learn about the water, write about the water, and dip her toes in the water when she visits the lake. Her latest book, Lake, explores and celebrates the community living in and around the water.
Hi, I'm Kate Moss Gamblin, author of Lake, the second book in the Sea to Learn series. And today's theme is living water. We'll have a chance to see plants and animals that live in, on and near water, and we may even get a chance to see some guests who have come by for a cool drink. Some of you may live near a lake or spend part of your summers near a lake. What are some of your favorites? The Great Lakes? So big they can be seen from space. I live on a Great Lake, Lake Ontario, which is very large. It's about 100 times the area of Lac Brome, which is a lake in Quebec's eastern townships. Some of you may have visited the Finger Lakes of New York State and seen, for instance, Seneca Lake or even Lake Muskoka in Ontario. If you close your eyes, can you see that lake in your imagination? What are some of the living things that you see on wing or hoof or paw by a lake? A mosquito? Of course, in certain seasons. What would be a living being with a much bigger wingspan than a mosquito? A pterodactyl? Well, they had an enormous wingspan, but they did live in the dinosaur era. What would another winged creature be? A dragonfly, or perhaps even a swan? And young swan are called cygnets. Lakes are found in every province and territory in Canada and every time zone on this earth. In lakes, you'll find beings swimming or having a drink or walking in the shallow water. You might even see a moose with its young, moose calves, walking amid bulrushes by a lakeside. And just to show you, this moose was painted by an Ojibwe artist. In my book, groups of animals are included, and different animals have different names. A collection of trout is called a school. And did you know that a collection of crows is called a murder of crows? A young rabbit, here's a rabbit. A young rabbit is called a kit. And then if you have a collection of rabbits, a collection of these little Susie bunnies. Ooh, a little collection of the Susie bunnies. This is called a colony. A young porcupine is called a porcupet, and a collection of porcupines is called a prickle. As I read part of my book to you, let your imagination play alongside all of these various animals enjoying the water together. You might even want to imagine moving as a hummingbird or as a deer. And a young deer is called a fawn. Collection of deer is called a herd. There's a great diversity of life found around precious water in schools and gaggles and bevies of living beings. So, this is Lake. Do you see all the winged visitors, the dragonfly and hummingbird wings, beating swift enough to hover, swoop, and dart? Do you see the water striders rowing atop the living water? A school of lake trout swim alongside you and me? Do you see that countless generations of creatures share the water, its still surface reflecting the ever-changing seasons? Do you see under these sheltering willow branches the swan and her cygnets, their feathers lightening through their first autumn, only their feet busy below? Do you see this crimson leaf fallen on the water, marker of the turning season, a tiny red canoe on its journey toward the sea? Do you see the water leaving the lake in silvery tumbles near a bevy of playful otter cubs? So, thanks for spending this time with me. May each of you enjoy and treasure the living water all around you. Be well.
I didn't know baby swans were called cygnets. Did you? There sure are a lot of animals who live in the water and out of the water, aren't there? We're going to take a break from the lake to visit the Art Gallery of Burlington. Hey, that rhymes. The Art Gallery of Burlington is Burlington's public art gallery and community art center. where creators, cultures, and communities meet and share in the wealth of human creativity.
Hi everyone! My name is Heather and I'm an arts educator with the Art Gallery of Burlington. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do paper marbling with common items that you will find in your kitchen. So let's get started. For this project, you will need a shallow bucket or baking tray, white paper, heavier paper like cardstock works best but plain paper is okay, shaving foam, any type of liquid paint or food coloring, a pencil or a barbecue skewer, and a ruler or a piece of cardboard. Paper marbling can be messy, so it is best to cover your work surface with newspaper or a plastic tablecloth. First, cover the bottom of your container with shaving foam. Next, add dots of paint or food coloring to the shaving cream. Try using different colors to see how they will blend together to make new colors. Using the tip of a pencil or skewer, drag and swirl the paint through the shaving cream so the paint is distributed throughout. Your shaving cream should have swirls of color like this when you are finished. It is important not to blend too much. Take your paper and press it firmly on top of the shaving cream. Carefully remove the paper from the shaving cream, and using a ruler or a piece of cardboard, scrape the shaving cream away to reveal your beautiful marbled paper. You can repeat this process over and over, adding fresh shaving cream and paint to your container. Try using food coloring. A word of caution though, food coloring might stain your hands and clothes. You might want to wear gloves and old clothes to be safe. Try experimenting using different types of paint. Here is the marble paper using paint and food coloring side by side. Which one do you like best? For more creative activities, visit our website to learn about our HEB Family Open Studios. They happen every weekend and are made possible through generous support from Rotary Club of Burlington Lakeshore and Burlington Hydro. Thanks for watching!
What a groovy effect on the water and color makes on paper. Why don't you try it out and upload a picture of your art to the Creativity Club page of the Telling Tales website. Now, let's get back to the Henry Garden at Royal Botanical Gardens to see a special presentation by Aaron Bell and Daniel Secord of the White Pine Dancers. From Brantford, Ontario, the White Pine Dancers is a group of family and friends dedicated to sharing their gifts of Indigenous song, dance, and stories. For the past 11 years, they have performed for more than 35,000 people across North America.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are Gunra White Pine Dancers. Gunra in the Onondaga language means tree with 5 needles, or in the English language, the white pine tree. The white pine tree is a symbol of peace, friendship, and respect to the Iroquois and Six Nations people. We've brought a dancer for you today. From the Mississauga Nation of New Credit. We are here at the Royal Ontario Botanical Gardens in beautiful Burlington, Ontario, on behalf of the Nature Tales Storytelling Festival. Normally we bring out 5 to 10 dancers, but because of the local crisis, we've only brought the 2 of us. We're going to be sharing with you 1 dance and some teachings about the gift of water. The beat of the drum always represents the heartbeat of Mother Earth. As you watch Dan's feet when he dances, you'll see that his feet always touch the ground in time with the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Sago, Scano, Ani, hello, bonjour, hola, ni hao. I'd like to introduce one of our dancers. This is Dan Secord from the Mississauga Nation of New Credit. He is your grass dancer. The grass dancer's job is to stomp down the tall prairie grasses in preparation for a new village or a new celebration ahead. He's wearing bells around his ankles, which he uses to draw in the ancestors, both past and present, to join him within the circle as he dances. He's wearing long flowing fringes upon his regalia. This represents the tall prairie grasses that still do grow out west to this day. On his head, he's wearing a roach headdress, which is made from 2 different types of animal: the soft underbelly fur, the porcupine, and the white-tailed deer. He also has 2 eagle feathers on the top of his roach headdress. This is meant to stir the medicine within the circle. It also represents the fact that he or members of his family have been in battle before. All of our dancers are sharing with you a story. Dan is going to share with you the story of preparing the land for a new village or a new celebration ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the medicine dance. This is the grass dance. Ladies and gentlemen, Tan Secord, your grass dancer. We call the earth our mother. We call the sun our father or brother. We call the moon our grandmother, because grandmothers always got us home in times of darkness. We call the rocks our grandfathers. Lots of times, children will ask me why we call the earth our mother. Because all living things come from Mother Earth. The gift of water is very important. Our bodies can survive 3 weeks without food, but cannot survive 5 days without the gift of water. We don't want to poison our own veins with anything unlikely to hurt ourselves. The same thing should happen with Mother Earth. Mother Earth, water, lakes, rivers, and streams, those are the veins of Mother Earth. It does not make any sense to poison the veins and the arteries of our own mother, because without Mother Earth, we would not be here. My son was very young, and he hated the gift of rain. He came home from school one day and he says, "Daddy, I can't go outside and play." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because it's raining." And I said, "Well, why can't you go outside and play?" He said, "Because it's raining." And I said, "Well, just go outside and play. Jump in those puddles, dance in the rain. But when you do, turn your face towards the sky and give thanks to the gift of rain. Because when it rains, their Creator is reminding us He is creating new life upon this place. Now when it rains at night, my son will grab his lightsaber. And I'll grab my lightsaber. And we'll go out, we'll have lightsaber battles out on the sidewalk. All of our neighbors think that we're strange. But I think that they're strange because the way that they give thanks to the gift of rain is by looking through their windows like this. So now my son realized that the gift of water is very important for all living things upon this place. On behalf of Dan and myself, the way I say thank you in Mohawk is you say Nyawe. The way I say thank you in Ojibwe is you say Miigwech. The way I say thank you in your language is you say...
Thank you.
On behalf of all of us to all of you, we wish you a safe and happy journey home. Please stay safe during this time, and we hope to see you again at various festivals across Southern Ontario. Ona Ogweho.
Wow, what a great dance to celebrate water. And I love Aaron's story about playing lightsabers outside in the rain with his son. We've heard lots today about how important the water is to sustaining the land and the animals in it and around it. We've heard about amazing people who study it and protect it and celebrate it. So, we would like you to tell us why you think water is important. You can share ideas by writing a story, a poem, drawing a picture, or making a short video. Once you have finished, upload your creation to the contest page on the Telling Tales website, and you could win a book from one of today's presenters. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, keep doing your part to protect the land and water. Thanks for joining us, and remember to visit our website for more events and to upload your artwork, your writing, your videos, and your ideas to the Telling Tales Creativity Club. Telling Tales is all about the joy of discovering how stories connect us. Tell us what you thought of this episode by filling out the survey on the Telling Tales website, and you could win a book from one of today's authors. See you again.